First thing we've got to give you is some ideas on whakapapa. There's a couple of different lines into why we'd be getting into water. Moi mai a tāne ke hine tūpari maunga. Mai a rā waka puta mai wainui, tango, mai a rā waka puta mai rākura, mārama, me ngā whetū. That's one that follows backwards instead of starting with stars. It starts with mountain, pārne, drops down into wainui. Wainui is another atua for all types of water. Then it drops down into sun, moon, stars. A lot of whakapapa starts with stars and goes down into water, then into whenua. If water is one of your dominant features, then you turn it around and you end up with stars later. There's another whakapapa that comes through Parawhenua Mount. He's the atua of rivers and into Kiwa. Kiwa's the atua of East Coast water. And then Kiwa remarries to Hene. You need to know this little bit of whakapapa, and you can go back over it again at another point about why you're doing water, what that has a connection to you, because this is kura wai. So we start out with the whakapapa to what we're getting into and what your whole program is about. Down the left-hand side of the black mark, down the left-hand side of the stripe, then come back down the left-hand side of the stripe. Left-hand side. We're doing clockwise direction around the black line. Go. Girls, go. Left-hand side.
Might be the first time in my life I've ever filmed something that made me cry. If this turns out, this might be one of the coolest things in a long line of cool shit that I have ever shot. Hollywood film sets couldn't create this scene. Oh my God, this is amazing. Please God, turn out. Please God, turn out. Wow. The people are cool, but the environment. Atua Matua.
Okay, here's what's going to happen is we're going to do 10 lengths. They're in 50-meter lots, so you get a rest at each end. So don't sweat it, but each length you have to decrease your time. So by length 10, you should be flying. If you're smart, you won't go out too hard too early in your first length, but you can't stop. So while you're swimming down, you have to do your 50 meters and nothing touches the ground. If you do, the rest of the team gets a treat. You don't want to know what the treat is, the specials, extras, lovely stuff. Yeah. So you're going to be swimming 50. You're going to be swimming nice and smooth and nice and slow. Our technique is thumb comes in, we're reaching out, lifting up over the top, pulling it into the center, down. This kind of movement. Some of you are doing this down the pool.
Video guy first!
John, who's in here?
Yep.
Quiet. Okay, you ready? Hook. Okay, boys. Go. Okay, we've got 5 seconds and the next set's going. Nice and smooth. Don't want to go too fast, they'll kill you at the end. What we're seeing is a dissipation of energy sideways instead of reaching towards the end of the pool. So for quite a few of them, we're getting the Stevie Wonder effect where this is happening with their heads and their bodies following their heads down the pool, which is no use to us. Also, we're seeing that some of the boys, because they have heap more muscle in the thighs, the back of them's dragging. And so we're getting their backside sitting low in the water, and we're not getting them up on the surface to be able to move quite quickly. Some of them are keeping their head too low, and what that does is drives their stroke downwards instead of out the front. But in essence, like a kayak or like a surfboard, we want to make the person as long in the water as we can, and they're shortening that by going across their body instead of that way. So now you're going to start adding kick in. You're going to start reaching towards the end of the pool more. Hey, listen up, look this way. Elbow needs to come up now. Any of you that are swimming through here, it's weak. Ready? Go. Hurry up. Red 30, when it gets to red 60, next crew's gonna go. Elbow up. If we do elbow up swimming, we use all of our lats. If I'm gonna throw a tennis ball, I need to do this in order to throw it. So we need rotation through your spine on the way down. What we're doing here is water's a real sensitive environment to change. If you blow a breath across it, it will react to you. And what we're trying to get these fellas to understand is that when we're moving through the water, they're reacting to the water and trying to fight it and dominate it. And it just won't happen. It won't, you'll never win. So the idea with this is to let themselves be exposed to the water, let it investigate, search, go through all their body parts, and then lift them up and let them float through the water. If they try and fight it, it's not gonna be a successful outcome for them. And we need this in other parts of our lives where if we're gonna invest our energy into something, then we need to expose ourselves to the idea, commit to it, and then work alongside it. So when you come to working in the water, you can never dominate it, but you can always work with it. And if you get to understand it better, it'll lift you up and both of you move forward. So it's kind of what we're trying to teach them here today, is that you have to release all the concern and worries and things to the water, let it suck it up, it'll lift you up, and then you'll move forward.
Please check out my other VRLOGs and subscribe and comment. It means the world to me.